FBI Director Wray says that the China cyber attacks on the U.S. infrastructure now are at unprecedented scales. We had originally heard there was only about 24 or so potential infrastructure systems that have been compromised. Now we're hearing it is a scale on which they realized. And also, we saw that there were warnings that came out after the cell phone outages this week, as we had heard members of Congress saying it's going to be 100 times worse when China invades Taiwan and they begin activating these malicious cyber attacks against U.S. infrastructures.
We also know for a fact that China already has backdoors waiting for them inside of our critical infrastructure, which now leads me to the latest warning from the FBI and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. So they're now warning us that Chinese hackers are now poised to disrupt our lives through our critical infrastructure. They said that this could include water treatment plants, electric grids, oil and natural gas pipelines, even our transportation systems. Many analysts believe that this may just be the tip of the iceberg, as the bad actors that are working with China, they have access to likely much more than that. Which brings me to the most recent outage that we saw with AT&T. We're now being told by lawmakers here in our country that this was just a taste of what we'll see in the near future. Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, he went on X to say that a Chinese cyber attack would be 100 times worse than what we saw recently. And just to kind of remind you guys, this outage from AT&T, it affected thousands of Americans, and it even hit other providers as well. So Rubio, he went on to say that the attack on our cyberspace, it would be done on the same day as the Taiwan invasion. China has not been shy with their pronouncement that Taiwan will reunify with them whether they like it or not. The US under President Joe Biden, though, has said that any invasion on Taiwan would bring American troops to the soil of the disputed island. So this led Rubio to say that the next attack won't be on our cell phone services. The next attack will hit our power, our water, even our banks. This means we won't even be able to call for 911. We won't be able to get in contact with our loved ones. We won't be able to turn on our heat in the cold. We won't have access to clean water. And even if we went to the store, our cards probably won't work. And this is why this is such a huge...
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. I'm the brother Yawanathan, back with another quick lesson. Lord willing, is edifying. And this thing is not really a matter of if, but when. All right, talking about America, which is Babylon the Great, according to Bible prophecy, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, getting hit with a cyber attack. Not a cyber attack, but a series of cyber attacks that would disable society, really. You know, from what I've been researching and these different various YouTube videos that I've been watching, these so-called Chinese hackers, they're already in the digital infrastructure. They're already in there. It's not a matter of if, because they pretty much already got what they want, what they need. And excuse the background noise. I'm just taking a little walk. But yeah, it's not a matter of if, but when. And like they said, when China invades Taiwan, you know, that's a good signal that it's about to go down. But we'll see. You know, we'll see. At the end of the day, the U.S. government, they don't want you to worry about it. Don't think about it. Don't research on it. You know, you'll be considered a conspiracy theorist and etc. But we the prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, the men of Great Millstone, beginning with the apostles, the head apostles on down. And the Lord set us up to give you warning, to give the children of Israel warning, according to Ezekiel 3:17. Which the children of Israel today are you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and especially those of you that are here in America. There's a time that the scriptures speak about concerning your future, which is called Jacob's trouble. And this is going to be a major part of Jacob's trouble and the plagues that hit America. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 10. It says, "Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt." And again, this is talking about America, because of Revelation 11 and 8. It tells you about that spiritual Egypt in which the Lord's people, the children of Israel, the nation of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites are dwelling in. You know, it says their dead bodies are lying in these streets, which is talking about spiritually. Our people are disconnected from their power, Yahweh, and his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. They are worshiping names like God and Jesus Christ, but that's not even their names. And even what those names represent in the spirit and the gospel that comes with, that's another Jesus, if you will. That's another Messiah. All right, the doctrine of Christianity, that's not going to save you from what's about to come, because they're not even telling you what's coming. They're not really reading out of the Holy Bible, and they don't have the spirit of prophecy, which is the testimony of who you call Jesus Christ, which his name again is Yahweh Shai. All right, the Christian church doesn't have this testimony of Yahweh Shai. They don't have the spirit of prophecy, so they're not warning you about these things that's coming. They're keeping you in that American days, that spirit of just slumbering and being careless. But you see, this was about to come, man. You know, a cyber attack, a series of cyber attacks on the water supply, on the electrical grid, right, on the medical, how they said, all these pharmacies that have been getting hit. You see? And you don't think that's going to affect you Israelites? You being led as a flock to the slaughter. Sheep don't even know when they go into the slaughter half the time. All right, they're just being led over there. And even if they did know, they're such docile creatures that they would still go quietly, you know, silently. And that, you know, in a form that represents you Israelites in America right now, man, because here it is, we doing all these videos. We go out every week. If the spirit allows, you know, we out there every Saturday and various other days of the week, you know, depending on what camp, what state you in. But Great Millstone is out there every week through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah, giving you warning, man, telling you what's about to happen and how you being led as a flock of sheep to a great slaughtering. This is all being prepared. This is all staged, man, if you will. You know, at some point, you know, there's going to have to be some real stuff going on, but you know, as you can see it, they are, what is it called, the so-called white man, Esau Edom, especially here in America. They got something called self-fulfilled prophecy, man. These people just always know that something is going to happen, yet they can never stop it though, yet they never prepared for it. But they're always giving you people warning, oh, this is coming, that's coming. And again, Salakia, for the background noise, a lot of cars, I guess because of the time, you know, people are getting back from work or whatever, but they always warning you, but they never could prevent it or stop it from happening. And ultimately, that's because they're the ones that's behind it. But ultimately, it's Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai behind it. Because remember, you got to go back to Egypt again. After I read this verse, I'm going to go to Exodus, the 10th chapter. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. So just as ancient Egypt was plagued and destroyed, so will America. And this is going to be part of the plagues, all right? These cyber attacks is going to be a major part of the plagues. Because when you go back to Egypt, all right, let's go to Exodus 10 real quick. One of the ninth plague, if I'm not mistaken, the plague of darkness, all right? It was brought by through Moses, all right? So the Most High does use men to bring forth things on the earth that he prophesied about, or that he, you know, when he speaks against a nation, pursuing Jeremiah 28:8, I'm kind of getting excited now, man, talking about this and, you know, the videos that I've seen. But when you read Jeremiah 28:8, it tells you that the prophets, they prophesy against many kingdoms, against great countries of war, evil, and pestilence, roughly paraphrasing it, right? And so the Lord uses the prophets to pronounce judgment on the kingdom, and then he may just use men to bring forth that judgment. Not even me. Most 9 times out of 10, the Lord is using men to do it, and he's using his angels ultimately to put the spirit on men to do it. Proverbs 21:1. All right, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. You see, so when this place gets attacked, and when this society breaks down to where we won't even be able to survive in this shit unless Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah be with us. And that's what he means by he's going to stretch out his hand and, you know, he's going to deliver us. It's going to be happening by means of other men, all right? So-called Chinese, you know, the Russians, they're going to be responsible, which they're Edomites too. They're going to be responsible for completely annihilating America with nuclear missiles. You see, but that's a plague from the Lord. That's the Most High's judgment. That's a second death. But it's going to be happening by the way of the hands of men on the earth. So I wanted to make that point because America is most definitely going to have a blackout scenario, all right, a lights out type of scenario. Not only is just the infrastructure, the grid, the electrical infrastructure of America just weak and fragile. They don't put no money into it. There's really no defense against someone that's willing to attack the electrical grid. There's plenty of documentaries on it. One of the main ones that I remember is Power Down, Grid Up, or Grid Up, Power Down, something like that. If you look it up, it should be on YouTube or at least on Netflix or something. But they pretty much expose how weak America really is, man, when it comes to war. And that refers back to Isaiah the 47th chapter, how this place is tender and delicate, and this is like the glory of kingdoms, but the Lord says, sit in the dust. There's no more throne for you. So what's about to come to America, these people ain't ready for it, man. These people are in a docile state of mind, and they really don't even think that Yahweh Bashim Shai is real. They don't think that there's a true God and the Most High exists and he's going to judge the world. That's not an American thing. Americans walk around proud. They walk around like there's nothing that can happen to them. And so that's why it's such a beautiful thing. And that's why I get excited prophesying against this place, man, because we know it's going to come. And that's like a sweet taste, like when somebody's proud and they about to be humbled. That's a very satisfying feeling, if you will. So yeah, when you go back to Egypt, all right, Exodus chapter 10, I'll start at verse 20. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart so that he would not let the children of Israel go. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. When you read it in the NLT, it says, then the Lord said to Moses, lift your hand toward heaven, and the land of Egypt will be covered with a darkness so thick you can feel it. All right, because remember, well, this is according to the so-called white man science. I don't know how true this is, but they said that shadows has a weight to it. All right, they said they was able to, however they did it, it could be bullshit. But what it means by darkness so thick you can feel it, it's like if you have something, if you in a dark room, right, but you could still see a little something. You're not really completely terrified. You're not really panicking, if you will. But if something's so dark, you lift up your hand, you're trying to look at your hand. Now with hand-eye coordination, you would know where to put your hand up to your face so you can see it, but then you still can't see it. That's going to have a psychological effect on your mind. All right, and that's actually proven. They have studies on that when they put people in solitary confinement in prison, and that's not just complete darkness, by the way, but just isolating people, putting them by themselves so where they can't interact with nobody and really do anything. And they do put them in dark rooms. They said that I think it was like 90% of these people develop, they start getting what Esau would call like psychological disease. They start seeing shit, they start hearing shit. Now who's to say what they seeing ain't really there? That's the bugged out part about it. That's what's really gonna fuck you people's head up when the Lord bring these plagues back again on America, on Egypt ×2. All right, 2.0, because this is spiritual Egypt. Once again, there's a whole breakdown on it. I'm not gonna expound on it too much, but obviously this is the place that the Israelites served captivity, all 12 tribes. All right, and there was a Egypt prophesied, as we read 2nd Ezra 15, that was going to suffer the fate of this first Egypt. So what is that? That's America. All right, and so yeah, there was 10 plagues on Egypt, but the Lord's going to bring those 10 and more upon this new Egypt. You see, and one of those plagues being what? Darkness, man. And that's the major part of the cyber attack. Yeah, you can, you turn the water off and stuff like that. Obviously, people are going to die. We all need water to survive. But when them lights go out, man, it's a different feeling. All right, it's a different energy when you know that you can't call on 911 to come help your ass, man. Because that's what these people over here trust in so much. They trust in the shadow of Egypt. All right, but it said it's going to be to your shame. Because all these goodies that you used to and this lifestyle that you used to live in that the so-called white man created for you, the Lord is going to destroy it. And he's going to use other men to do it. Even the very same so-called white man. All right. He's in on all of this shit, man. And that ain't no conspiracy. How the fuck did they know China is in their systems and they not doing nothing about it? They don't have the technology for it or the money. And come on, man. All right. These people are all working together. But at the end of the day, it's to destroy the people. It's to destroy society. The people that's up top, they're not really going to get affected by stuff like this, man. You're going to have some wealthy in America, some rich and wealthy people. They may not be completely in the loop, right? And they're going to get left out there too. But for the most part, these things that's coming to America is going to affect, well, at least I say it like this. It's going to first affect the lower class of people first, all right? The poor and the middle class. And then it's going to creep its way up to the upper class. But the people that's going to really feel it the most is you Israelites, man. You the ones that's going to feel it the most, because you know in your conscience, you know there's a higher power, man. You got a different spirit than the rest of the people on this earth. See, the so-called white man, he just going to try to survive anyways. He never had faith. He doesn't know the Lord. But you Israelites, we've been prophesying to you, man. We've been telling you that this is coming and you just won't listen. So when it finally does come, your conscience is going to eat away at you. All right, according to Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter, then shall they know that a prophet had been among them. So your minds is going to be all fucked up, man. You Jakes are already fucked up. You Israelites in America are already mentally unstable and completely mentally destroyed. So how much more when the Lord start bringing these plagues back upon this place? It says, and Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. And that represents the elect this time around. Because all the children of Israel here in America, in this second, destruction, if you will, of Egypt, they're not going to have light. That's only for the elect. And that, you could say that's a twofold, because the light representing this truth, all right, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. So even if it's completely dark out here and we don't have a physical light, we have the light, which is this word, which is ultimately Yahweh Shai, all right, which is the understanding of this book and faith. That's going to keep men stable during these times. Key word is men. All right. So, yeah, the Lord brought darkness upon Egypt. I'm going to just read a little bit of it before I close this lesson out. In Wisdom of Solomon 17. Because basically the main point is, the cyber attack, yeah, on the pharmacy, sure. People can't get their medicine. Of course, that's going to affect society. But how much more when they just turn all the lights off on you people, man? Because once you turn the lights off, it don't matter if you got food. It's going to go bad. It depends what you got, but it's going to go bad anyways eventually, right? With no refrigerator. And once you turn the lights off, the water supply is already cut, because the water supply relies on electricity, all right, to pump water to your home. So, that's pretty much hitting like 2 birds with a stone, so to speak, when you just cut the lights off. You don't really have to directly attack each and every individual aspect of society when you just turn the lights off. When you just attack the electrical grid, the cell phone towers go down. You don't need to attack the cell phone tower. You just got to turn the lights out. And through the spirit, I believe that that's how it is going to go down. Of course, a series of cyber attacks, one here, one there. America's under attack, whatever, making it a big deal. But when them lights go out, that's when it's going to be a fucking problem for you people, man, for real. Wisdom of Solomon 17. And I'm going to start at 1. I'm going to just read it through quick. It says, for great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. So people don't know Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. There's a scripture that says the Lord is known by the judgment in which he executeth. People see judgment on a daily basis. The Lord, he said, every morning does he bring his judgment to light, but the wicked knoweth no shame. So they're in error. They're in error where they feel like, there's no higher power judging right and wrong on the earth. But meanwhile, people be dying every day in all type of gruesome and brutal ways, man. What do you think that is? All right, that's the judgments of the Lord. That's the great judgments of Yahweh by Shemel Shai. We're just getting started here. All right, for when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, talking about the Egyptians, we're not Africans. All right, we're not Egyptians. They oppress us. They're unrighteous. They're a different nation, an ungodly nation at that. Which really, yeah, they have their gods, you could say. They're idols. They're not real gods. They're idols. But the ungodly is talking about the heathen nations that don't know the Lord, the true God, the true living power, Yahweh and his son, Yahushai. All right, so what did they do? They put the children of Israel in slavery, the ancient Egyptians. And so did the so-called white man today. It says they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness. And we just read that. Where are you going to go? You can't see nothing. You can't even walk outside. You can't even see your own feet. So where the hell was they going to go? They stood in their houses, man. They were terrified. All right, while the Israelites had light. It says the prisoners of darkness and fettered with the bonds of a long night lay there exiled from the eternal. So, right, they don't have a part with us, basically. The eternal providence is talking about really the nation of Israel. It's a people before it's a place. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions. So that started happening to them in that darkness. They started seeing shit, strange apparitions, talking about angels and demons. You know, the Lord made certain visions and things appear. And let's just say it like this, may or may not have even really been there. It could have just been in their head. Because that's the thing, these people won't know. All right, they don't know the Lord. They don't know what an angel looks like. How they gonna know if they're looking at an angel? They don't even know what an angel look like. These people are completely ignorant, man. They think an angel is a so-called white man with wings, a little baby with wings. So you think if they see a big so-called black being, muscular being with an angry fucking face on them, as the scriptures describe them, the angels, Ezekiel, the 1st chapter, you think they're going to be cool with it? Oh, it's an angel of the Lord here to help me. Now the Lord is going to send angels out to be hunting you people out here, man, in that darkness. It's going to get real bad, man. Because remember, we're reading about something that already happened in history. We're reading history right here of ancient Egypt. But the scriptures tell you in Jeremiah 30:7 and Daniel 12:1, and also in Matthew 24, the Lord said it. This is a great tribulation such as never was since the beginning of the world. And not even until this time, we never seen nothing like this. So we can only use this as a reference of what it's going to be like. Key word is like, a simile. It's similar. But it's going to be far worse than what happened in Egypt. It says, for neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear. So yeah, you can back yourself against a wall and you can know, okay, I'm in a corner, because you can feel the walls or whatever, but that's not going to protect you. All right, that's not going to comfort you when you know that there's pitch black darkness out here. And not even the light of the moon is going to be able to, let you see. Because the moon works for the Lord, man. All things obey him. Everything that Yahweh and Yahushai created, obeyed him. All right, so when it's time for the lights to go out, the sun probably won't even come up. We don't know how it's... Hey, man, like I said, we'll see. But my speculation through the spirit, as I'm about to read, is that a chariot was blocking the sun and the moon for 3 days over Egypt. I'm going to read it. And if it wasn't that, well, it was just a darkness anyways. It was something blocking it. If it wasn't an actual ship, a so-called UFO, all right? It was something that wouldn't allow the sun to shine, all right? And them Egyptians, they worship the sun. So that was a plague, which was basically like a curse onto their idol worship. Like, oh yeah, the sun god, like, you worship the sun god. Why can't he help you? Because there is no sun god. There's only Yahweh and Yahushai. All right, so it says, where did I leave off? Keep them from fear. It says, but noises as of waters falling down sounded about them. So, when you hear like a waterfall, it'd be real loud. It's like a rushing sound. And mind you, if you can't see, if you know there's a waterfall nearby or some water rushing or river, you'll know what that sound is. But if you don't know, if you can't see around you, you don't know what the fuck that is. And sad visions appeared onto them with heavy countenance. So yeah, like angels, certain faces, it could have been like, mass looking face, like the immortals from 300, something like that, just appearing onto you, but you can't see nothing. Mind you, you got to remember that the darkness was so thick they can feel it, so they couldn't see nothing. They couldn't see jack shit. But then the Lord would just send these different apparitions and appearances onto them. these scary faces and stuff, man. It says, no power of fire might give them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten that horrible night. So even if you lit a match or a candle or a lantern, it was so dark that the darkness would still like basically be covered around that fire. The fire will only give light to itself, basically. So you couldn't light a candle and then it would give light to the room and the light was spread out. No, the light was contained to that little flame right there, and that was it. So you still couldn't see nothing. But it says, only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful. That's what makes me think that it was a chariot. You know, I will have to get confirmation in Salakia in advance if I'm going off, but I'm pretty sure that was a chariot. All right, I'm open for correction. It says, for being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. All right, as for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting and wisdom was reproved with disgrace. So that's the same spirit that this place is in, man. These people, you know, they boast themselves in their wisdom and their riches here, and especially here in America, man. These people think that money is going to solve all your problems in life, and money is going to deliver you from hard and terrible times. But once the Lord takes the wheel, so to speak, once the Lord takes control and he's the one, you know, sanctioning all these different things that happen, the scripture tell you that riches profit not in the day of wrath. So that doesn't matter. All right, the only thing the Lord is looking for is a spirit of faith within the elect of the nation of Israel. That's the only people that's going to be all right during these times, and that's a key word, is all right. You could say good, but remember the scriptures say the elect shall scarcely be saved, the righteous shall scarcely be saved, scarcely, which means barely. All right, so even the elect is going to live through these times here, all right, and it's going to be bad. It's going to be scary, man. It's not going to be a pretty sight. Okay, because it said, for being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. So they couldn't see, and that's scary enough. And they hearing different sounds and animals. I think does it say it later? Yeah, let me keep reading down a little before I close it out. But, you know, the things that they could see, which it just told you, which was the apparitions and the sad countenances, you know, appearances and stuff like that. Them things were even more scarier than just not able to see nothing and hearing different sounds that you don't even know how to identify those sounds. All right, it could be a fucking bear standing right behind one of these Egyptians, and they wouldn't know that they'll hear the roar, but they wouldn't be able to see it. But yet the things they still were able to see, which was, I believe, was that chariot in the sky and these different apparitions, that shit scared them so much. Look what it says. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. So these people were so scared, you could laugh at them. You could really laugh at somebody, and, you know, it's like you see a person just bugging out, you know, just losing their mind. But it's just funny, you know. The Lord, Yahweh Shem Shah, is laughing at them Egyptians. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that passed by and hissing of serpents, they died for fear, denying that they saw the air which could of no side be avoided. See that? So these people was literally dying because they were so scared, because they was hearing all them different sounds and seeing those different visions, those different apparitions. And the Lord is going to do this again, man. All right, these people in America, they're not built like the ancient Egyptians. All right, them ancient Egyptians, they was into witchcraft and sorcery. That's why I said they lean towards those that promise to drive away terrors. When Moses dropped the serpent and it dropped the staff, and it turned into a serpent, so did the Egyptian, the mage, the witch, or warlock, wizard, whatever. He did the same thing. So that wouldn't put fear in them. Well, look, we could do that too. But when the Lord starts bringing troubles upon you that you can't do nothing about it, nobody can help you, that's when you see the real person that's inside, man. You're going to see somebody break down mentally, psychologically. You're going to see them be destroyed, all right, little by little. Because the Lord, you know, he liked to have fun, man. He said he's going to laugh at your calamity when your fear cometh. So the Lord's going to make these people's fears reality. You got people that's scared of spiders and roaches. You might see big-ass roaches walking around, man. There's no telling exactly what we're going to see. Because, again, the scripture said that this is a time that has never been. All right? This is a once-in-a-lifetime judgment that's getting ready to take place. And after this, it's not going to be a time like that ever again, because then the righteous is going to be in rulership, Yahweh Shai and the elect of Israel, and really ultimately all the nation of Israel, but beginning with the 144,000, the elect men. All right. And that's why the earth is going to be better. This needs to happen, man. This all needs to happen so that new righteous rulership can come in and people can know that these men are not gods, man. They're just men. They can't put off what the Lord is getting ready to bring, including when he gives his men spiritual power. That's going to be another thing that bugged these people out, man. Men of the Lord, elect Israelite men, all right, so-called black and Hispanic men, Native American men, getting power, getting superpowers, man, right before their eyes, in the faces of trouble, in the face of death. And why are we not getting it? You know, it tells you that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, man, how they're going to say, wow, these are the people who we despise and basically abuse and treated like shit. And these were God's people all along, the citizens of the kingdom of heaven, the next government of the next ruling government of the new world to come, the new heavens and the new earth. Yeah. All right. But this has to happen first. The Lord's going to bring terrible judgment, great judgment, to set the record straight, man, once and for all. And so that his name could be feared for eternity, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, man. So with that, you know, hope and pray you were edified by this lesson, and just be prepared as much as you can. If you could get, you know, the apostle was talking about satellite phones and, you know, get some extra water, because this time is definitely surely coming, man. It's not a matter of if, but when. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.